The Infinity GT Manufacturer Series, Season 6, League 2, Brands Hatch GP for the feature race, Group 4 category. This time around, last week it was GL3, this time we're Group 4, Brands Hatch, 40-minute endurance ahead of us, racing mediums, minimum 3 laps as per normal, 3 and 3, tyre and fuel. It's all about that perfect getaway up to Paddock Hill Bend. Let's see how they get on. We've got Dave there leading at the minute. Just got them all underway. Nice clean start. Let's go on through. Let's see what's happening further on back. Oh, MLA. Yes. Well, it's a bit of a weird situation, this one. Yeah, it was odd. So if I go from my point of view, we're going car. I don't know what actually happened. I got squeezed to the wall to the right. So they all... We're just waiting for them lights. Yeah, the 86 is slow starting. Sonic Racer moves over to the right. And then it hits into me and we just crossed the line, and already I'm into the barrier. So I've got it all to do, losing ground. MLA waited, but it wasn't MLA's fault. It was actually Sonic Racer's fault. He actually turned into me. So yeah, Dave leading them down Pilgrim's Drop now. Couple of laps time, we'll do an onboard lap, but Dave currently leading away from Rick, from Marshall in third, from Valiant, from Nave, C Trickle from James Harbin. C Trickle just running a little bit wide there on the grass. He's going to have dirty tyres, so that will compromise him when he comes back on track. James Harbin just sitting behind C Trickle, taking it nice and easy. You'll see a lot of fuel saving, managing them tyres as well. Some opting for the racing soft, some opting for the racing mediums. Completely their choice what they want to run. As you can see there, Sonic Race on the racing medium. Does opt for the medium. So a lot went for the medium for the longer first stint. Unfortunately, Rob down in P12, but leading them so far with a bit of a gap already. Their routine now, James and Dave, I've clocked onto what they do. So Dave would do the faster first stint on the racing soft, and then James will opt for the racing medium. That may change each week, but we've got Vadim already looking to the inside there of Marshall. Does he get that move done? He does indeed. Marshall gives him the room, but Marshall's coming straight back at him around the outside. Will he get his move? No, he just backs out of it. Purple sector, you will get that in the second lap. Everyone will get that. Oh yeah, I'm quicker this lap so far. No, it's just how it is. But Nave there currently sitting in fifth. Bit of a gap between him and Marshall and James Harbin, who's currently sitting in sixth. So Nave there just taking it nice and easy early on. James Harbin trying to close the gap to the 86, which it will do. The Lambo better top end, but the 86 is phenomenal in corners. C Trucker there currently in seventh. Duds coming under pressure now from Sonic Racer in the Jaguar. There's myself coming around that corner now, and who had a moment there? Was it Mr. Duck Lover himself, James Harbin? Where's James too? Gets it all around this corner, I think. Yeah, gets it on the grass, lose that rear end, but kept it straight. Almost spun it out, but he's going to have dirty tyres. Sonic Racer going off as well. He's like, yeah, let's have synchronising, going off track, which they both do together. So James Harbin now got it all to do in 8th position. What can he do? We've got Duds as well. It's all going off. Everyone's going off track. James was the first. Everyone's like, yeah, let's follow James's routine and go off track, shall we? But yeah, Duds still in 7th, but he's going to have dirty tyres. So by now, James would have scrubbed off the dirt on his tyres. Myself closing up now after that bit of coming together at the start. We just started the race. Sonic Racer in 11th with P1 Rob, unfortunately right down in 12th position. Let's see what he can do. Rick in the Ferrari now, attacking the rear of the Lamborghini. 1:37.55, the fastest lap so far from Rick in the Ferrari. Behind we've got a gaggle of cars. We've got Nath in the mix. So Nath in the TL86 pulls to the inside there. Valium taking it off-road in that NSX four-wheel drive car, but it isn't. He wants it to be a rally car, but unfortunately it's not Valium. Now he's down to 5th. He'll be in the clutches of C Trickle in that Nissan. This is four-wheel drive. The NSX isn't. I just made that up. C Trickle in 6th position. Can he attack P1 Valium for that 5th? Nice there, nice and fast. A lot quicker than Valium. I know Valium's on the racing medium. There's a slight difference in the racing soft. to the racing media, but around Brands Hatch, I'll be honest, both tyres felt the same. Honestly, they did. They just felt the same. A little bit slow, the racing media, which we know anyway. But for grip level wise and that, they're almost identical. You didn't really lose a lot of time on the racing medium. So MLA now recovered up to 10th. He's got past Sonic Racer and Rob, trying to close up the gap to me and James Harbin, and I think that's Duds. Yeah, Duds is currently sitting in 7th, but he's got the attention of me and James now as we head up to Paddock Hill Bend. We drop down now, and I'm now on the inside of James Harbin. The 86 had such phenomenal grip around corners, you could just almost basically flat out around Paddock Hill Bend. That's just how it was. But no, bit of a gap forming now, because now I'm giving James some attention. He's just falling into my clutches, and that's enabling Duds to pull away. They actually changed car to the Hyundai. They was in a Mercedes, but they switched to the Hyundai. So here we are. Marshall currently sitting in 3rd, but he's got lots and lots of pressure there from Nathan Seat Trickle. Can he keep on to this 3rd position? Out car we go. Nath there to the inside. Let's go back and have a look at that from Nath's point of view. In car with Nath now, he's in a Nissan Sandwich. He's currently the cheese and they're the bread. So we look at this now. Marshall protecting the inside line, and then yeah, Nath down the inside. That nice move there from Nath, but Marshall just got the entry a little bit wrong. Let's see what he can do. Let's see what he can do. I mean, he enables his teammate to go on by to up to 4 positions. Try and keep with Nath if they can, but I think Nath will pull away in that Toyota. P1 Valium now trying to, but drifting around that corner, trying to close the gap between himself and Marshall. But can he? We've got the 2 teammates, 4th and 5th, helping each other out, along with saving that fuel. James Harbin currently sitting in 7th. Myself in 8th. Behind James Harbin, I looked to the inside as we got up to Druids. I think I gave him plenty of room. Yeah, he actually gave me plenty of room, sorry, on the outside. And yeah, we're side by side now, heading downhill to this left-hander. And James Harbin's still there, struggling on the racing mediums right about now. But MLA in the background. MLA in the background. Oh no, MLA. In car of MLA now. Does he get too much grass on the exit? And he spins the rear of the car out. Yeah, too much power. He's still on the throttle, and unfortunately that kicks the rear end out. So now he's got it all to do. Rob's going to pass him as well. So for a second time out, MLA in 12th. Now he's got to push it. Push it a little bit harder. Yeah, you will overuse the fuel, but why not? You've got nothing to lose. So then, Dave leading the way. He's got quite a nice gap now to Rick. And Nathan's got a nice gap to Rick as well. So with Rick being in 2nd and Dave in 1st, the onboard lap now is going to be with Dave. We're heading along the start finish straight, and yeah, everyone knows Paddock Hill Bend. Everyone in the world knows Paddock Hill Bend. How you take this is your choice. Dave opts to keep it in 4th, 3rd, and kick it up to 4th. As you've seen there, he kept it in that high gear, and that ran him out wide into the gravel at Paddock Hill. He's still in the lead, so we're going to stay in car with him. Druids, the right-hander now. The famous Graham Hill Bend, the left-hander. Be careful not to run it wide on the exit. As we've seen from MLA, he got onto the dirt on full throttle and unfortunately lost the rear end. Cooper straight. We head up to Surtees, the left-hander, lovely corner there. It's out wide, cut it in tight to the apex, full throttle on the exit. And as we head up, and then we drop down Pilgrim's Drop. You can see the drop, the elevation track, up, down, you know. And then Hawthorne Bend, semi-flat, upper gear 2. Keep it in really tight to apex, Hawthorne Bend. Derek Minter straight, this little bit is now Westfield Bend. Dingledale. This is Dingledale Park now. And then Dingledale Corner, this right. Almost semi-flat as well. Then we got to Sterling's, the left-hander. Lost 4 seconds, so he's lost a lot of time. Anyway, go down to Clearways. And then we go to Clark Curve, the right-hander, the final corner before the start finish straight. That was a lap from Dave. Currently sitting in first position. His fastest lap is a 1:29.628. The race so far, 9 minutes in, around about 30 minutes to go. Rick closed that gap with Dave having that off. Can Rick do anything about Dave? Can Rick close up to Dave and give him that pressure to try and hassle for that first position? But behind as well, got C Trickle still behind Nave. Can he get this move done? But no, as I said previously, the grip with the 86 through corners, it'd be hard to keep with it. On the straight, it's catchable because it hasn't got a great top end, when the Nissan has. As you see now, you see Trickle in the slipstream of the 86. He's closing up, but round corners, he went a bit wide there, Nave, so that's going to compromise him as they head along this straight now. As we've seen, he totally missed the apex there, Nave. So now he's going to be caught out from C Trickle. C Trickle opting to go around the outside there in Nave. But as I said previously, the 86 will have the upper hand over the Nissan. Marshall now in that 5th position, struggling a little bit. But he's got the attention of P1 Valium. P1 Valium looking to the inside there. Marshall gives him racing room, but Marshall's still ahead in that 5th position. Valium still looking to the inside there. Is not recommended round this corner at all. Too wide around that corner could be disaster, but you know, everyone to their own. James Harbin in 7th position, still with me, but I took it nice and easy behind James. I was saving the fuel, looking after the tyres as well. Let James do all the work, which he was, because the tyre wear. Marshall in the pits quite early. I said to Nathan chat, God, he's gone in quite early, maybe just to get a bit of air, you know, clean air to himself, so he could just push it for a few laps. But now I don't know if James just backed off a little bit there, just let me go on through. Probably sick of the pressure from me. Yeah, so I just give him a bit of hazard lights there, say thank you, because he did back off there. So Duds in that 8th position, Rob in 9th, MLA in 10th, recovered up to 10th again. Second time this race. Can he close up to the rear of Rob? And Marshall in 11th now. Sonic Racer in 12th. Marshall come out in 11th. Rob there. Doing a good job in 9th position. Had it off early on. Can he close up to the rear of Duds? We'll wait and see. Yeah. League 2 been good so far. 4 rounds in. We head to Spa for round number 5. That is a wet sprint race actually, so that's going to be quite interesting. P1 Valium. He got it all wrong in car with P1 Valium now. I don't know if the pressure was getting to him as well. But you can see by the, yeah, so P1 Valium there in car. P1 Valium, did he get his, yeah, a little, he missed the apex there onto the grass, kicked him out to the right, kept with it, kept on the throttle. It's like, my God, mate, you know. But you can see, you can feel the dirt on the tyres as well, the way the car's reacting, and he was trying to keep with me through that bit as well. He touched the grass and that was it, you know. He had dirt on the tyres still, and that compromised him entering corners, and unfortunately he's clipped the grass again and he's down to 8th. Now he's got to try and recover. Now he's behind Duds there. Duds in 7th position, so Duds is picking up a position or two like James Harbin, but at the front we go. Again, David's extended that gap. 1:29.628, the fast lap of the race so far, with Rick 1:37.14, Nath 1:36.02, C Trickle 1:30.081, myself 1:34.00, James Harbin 1:39.04, Duds 1:31.545, Marshall 1:31.623. Who's gone off there? Duds has gone off now. Round Paddock Hill Bend, identical maybe to Dave, but Duds is a little bit worse than Dave. Yep, similar thing. Kick the rear end out over to the other side of the track, and yeah, now that's cost him 1:31.545. P1 Valiant 1:31.251. Sonic Racer 1:35.96. MLA 1:31.026. Unfortunately to the rear, but he's on the racing soft now, so he'll be pushing it for a few laps to try and make a position or two. Dave on the racing soft, bit of heavy tyre wear now coming onto them racing soft. In regards to Nate, so Dave on the racing soft, his tyre wear is heavy. Rick on the racing medium, bit more tyre wear than Nate, so Nate is managing his tyre wear very well. C Trickle racing soft, his is better than Dave, so he can go a little bit longer, and I got a little bit more wear than Nathan in 3rd position. James Hartman as well on the racing medium, still going around, but he wasn't happy on the racing medium at all, and I think they was all dreading Brands Hatch anyway. Marshall in 8th with cars pitting. It does enable him to go up a few positions. P1 Valium in 10th, but he's behind Duds now, so he's got to try and get this move off of Duds. So in car now with P1 Valium. Will he dive down the inside maybe? Nope, Duds still staying out. Will Duds go into the pits? I don't know if Duds was looking to go into the pits, and no, he wasn't. He couldn't anyway because Valiant blocked off the entrance to that pit lane. Duds in 10th, Sonic Racing 11th, MLA now. What can MLA do? Can MLA push it and do a couple of qualifying laps to close the gap up to Sonic Racer and Duds and Valium? We'll wait and see because he's quite far behind Dave now. Dave in first position still. Rick coming under pressure now from Nate. So Nate in the 0 to 86. Bringing the pressure to Rick now in the Ferrari. Racing medium to racing medium. And again, the 86 phenomenal through corners. Lovely car. People say it's OP, but it's not OP, I don't think. It's just stronger in corners. It just lacks it on the straight. So it's ideal. The GR3 is at Spa, because if the GR4 was at Spa, we would have struggled. We would have picked it up around the mid part of the track, but on the straights we would have lost out. So then, Rick just sitting, just put it to the left there. You see what Rick done? He just put it to the left slightly, you know, to make the gap a little bit narrow. But no, they've got the switch back on him, and they're side by side now, heading up to start finish line. Who will come out on top? Around Paddock Hill, Ben. Rick, Naif's got it in a minute. Rick, can he come back at Naif? Can he come back at Naif at Druids? No, not yet. Not yet. Naif pulls it out in the exit of Druids. Graham Hill. Can Rick close up? Nope, Rick cannot close up. Naif has actually extended that gap. So I think that's job done for Naif. Next target for Naif is Dave. Currently still in first position. See Trickle. Drop it down to 4th, but he's been there anyway. But he's fallen back now from the likes of Rick. And when he come into the clutches of myself, I'm currently sitting in 5th. 131.22 so far. In regards to C Trickle, 130.081. So on the racing soft to racing medium, times almost identical for our fastest lap of the race so far. But the current holder of that is Dave, 129.628. And again, runs it a little bit wide onto the grass. Tyre wear, the front left tyre is coming into heavy wear now, so he's going to feel it even more. Rick seems to have closed the gap to Nave. Few attempts here and there, and to be honest with you, I think C Trickle behind in 4th position is closing that gap even more to Rick. C Trickle into the pits. That will enable me to go up to 4th. James Harben, does he stay out? He does indeed. Robin 7th. Marshall up to 8th on the racing softs. Who's in front of Marshall? Marshall in 8th. Rob's there in 7th. Has Rob pitted? No, he has not. I don't think he's pitted when Marshall has pitted. There's C Trickle, Marshall's teammate, coming out of pits. Will Marshall say to him, look, I'm coming around now, I'm faster than you, your tyres are just getting up to temperature, and will C Trickle enable Marshall to go on by? Possible, or they may stay like this for the meantime. It looks like they're staying as they are for now. Yes, they're staying as they are for now. Valium in 9th, Sonic Racer in 10th, Duds in 11th, MLA not enjoying Brands Hatch and Ferrari, and not one of his best races so far. 129.909. So he's got the pace. It's just closing that gap to first, because Dave is all the way here, you know, towards the end of the lap, when MLA is only so there's a massive gap between these from 1st to 12th. You're looking at, say, estimate around about 19-20 seconds there or thereabouts. I would estimate probably a little bit more. But MLA, he needs some qualifying laps still if he wants to get the points. Almost lost it there onto the gravel, but kept with it. Again, he's going to have dirt on the tyres, so he will feel it there. Just lifted off the accelerator slightly. James Harben in the pit. So James Harben on the racing soft, pitted quite early. Dave's staying out and Nave's staying out as well. Rick's staying out. Myself, I'm closing the gap to Rick. And I don't know if Rick was aware of that. It looked like to me Rick was trying to match me and Nave when we pit, he'll pit. He did stay out quite long on the in the Ferrari, and as you can tell by the tyre wear, he's in his right to stay out because it wasn't really that bad as tyre wear on this racing medium. So Rick in a Toyota sandwich now, even though it's quite gappy. Yeah, second and fourth are currently running. Nate's front left tyre is wearing a lot more than mine, so with me sitting behind James, I'm able to save the tyres a little bit more, and now I'm fuel saving that fuel. Almost identical, me and Nave and Rick actually. Dave, I don't know when Dave opted to pit. I think it was now, or was it the next lap? Yeah, it was now, but something happened here, I think. No, I thought he sort of like hit the wall, something like that. Maybe I dreamt that. So then Nave takes the lead of the race. Missed the apex completely there. So Dave, what day? With Dave, we go on the racing soft at the start, and then he'll pit, racing medium, don't refuel, and then pit again, and then refuel and put the racing soft on. And when a lot of the cars are doing just a one stop, so the lead of the race in the pits, out in fourth, but Nave takes the lead of the race. Rick there got the attention from myself, so Rick in second position. Now me and him are battling it out, and I looked for it there, but the Ferrari's top end was a lot better than the Toyota. There's me in the wing mirror there. So Rick, I'm trying to get by, but I think better of it because we have got wear on the tyres, so there's no point in risking both our races. As you see again, I'm trying to get by. But it's quite difficult around this section of track. So Rick's still defending from myself, all the while Nate putting that gap. Around this right-hander now. The left-hander. And again, the Ferrari, the top end of the Ferrari managed to extend that gap. But the tight corners, the 86 was a lot better, but Rick still not opting to pit. So I said to Nate, you know, he's doing what we're doing, he's staying out longer, maybe he'll pit with us and have a battle for the end of the race. So Dave in fourth. I did notice a gap falling, that's because me and Rick were fighting. Rather than helping each other get away, we was battling. That enabled Dave, who's drifting around Paddock Hill Bend, to close that gap all the while. So Marshall enabling his teammate to go on by. That tyre we're having a bit of an effect on Marshall now. See Trickle, you'll see him there to the right. I think Marshall just backed off, and then Abe see Trickle. No, that was a bit. Marshall. I thought they swapped, but they didn't swap. No, Marshall kept him fifth. I thought they swapped at some point. Oh, my eyes playing tricks on me. Anyway, it is what it is. P1 Valium there. Teammates helping each other out. P1 Valium, what can he do? He's pushing it now. 129.929 is his fastest lap of the race so far. I've been interested to see what James Harvin's doing. 129.655, so quicker than P1 Valium, who's ahead of him. MLA 129.909 in ninth now. The gap between him and James Harbin is a 4.1. He's a lot bigger than that. Yeah, 4.1. 4.1 second gap between James and MLA. Doable, but just manage the tyre as well. What's MLA's tyre wear like? Not that bad actually. So yeah, he won't have to pit, so he'll be going to the end. Robin 10th on his own. Sonic Racer likewise, and Duds unfortunately to the rear in 12th position. So Nave still opting to stay out. I'm still trying to get by. Rick, who's in second. I wasn't like, you know, pushing it to get by. I was saving at the same time, but then I did want to get by, so I knew I was quicker in places, like here. I think I went for the move now. Did I? I can't remember. Yeah, I did. I went down the inside there. Just seen that gap, died down the inside. So Rick now will stay behind myself. So Rick in third position. We'll be wanting that position back. And I give him the space on the left, but I can't remember if he stuck at it. We're side by side there. Yeah, he did stick at it, but he went a little bit deep on the exit. Almost went. Also had to get off the accelerator. All the while Dave is still catching us up because we're fighting. So Rick now down to third. Dave's still catching us in that fourth in the Lambo. But we got the advantage technically over Dave as it is. The two teammates there, fifth and sixth, having a little battle between themselves. Marshall and C Trickle, fifth and sixth at the front. I don't think Nave. Yeah, Nave goes into the pits. Yeah, I'm in the pits. So Rick goes into the pits as well. So that enables Dave to go out even longer. He could do what, another 2 or 3 laps there on the racing medium, his choice. Marshall and C Trickle coming through now. Nate just come out the pits. I'm still in the pits. I've come out now, so I've lost a bit of ground there to Nave. Where's Rick in regards? Rick's there, so Rick's lost a bit of time as well in that pit stop, but that's enabled James Harbin to go on through to sit position, try and harass the back of me in that fifth. Dave retakes the lead of the race. Gap between him and Nave is a 9.5 second gap. So yeah, 15 minutes to go. Sprint race. I don't know when I get that out. It's going to be delayed with that one. Sorry. James Harbin. James Harbin in that sixth. Rick in seventh. So because James pitted quite early, well not early, but he pitted quite a few laps before us. He pitted on lap number 12. So his laps, his tyres, sorry, so like 5-6 laps old compared to mine and Rick. So Rick technically has got the advantage over James Harbin in regards to tyre wear and fuel. Yeah, so Rick's going to the end with the fuel and the tyres. James Harbin, if he looks after his tyres, then yeah, he'll keep that safe. Marshall in the pits for a second time, not happy on the races itself, so Marshall in the pits. MLA up to 8, maybe up to 7. So good recovery so far for MLA, up to 7. P1 Valiant, Rob. So the two teammates there on track together. Can they work together to gain a few more positions? Because MLA is only there. Marshall's just come out the pits, and Marshall on the fresh of tyres will quite possibly come in to attack Rob now for that 9th. Sonic Racer in 11th position. It's unfortunate because Sonic Racer and his teammate, I think it was Gwyn, have left the Infinity Series for personal reasons, so they've left. A shame, but it is what it is. We can't stop them. And we've got Aldo and Tricky Tree, I think, who have joined us for League 2. Let's see how they get on. You know, see how they get on in League 2. Different kettle of fish, League 3 to 2. I'll see how they get on. And they're in a BMW, so they'll be included in the replay from Spa when that does happen, which is today technically. So then, we've got around about 13 minutes to go. So let's go back and have a look at this. So Dave, let's go in car actually. Went to go into the pits. Yeah, because what he done there was the game doesn't like it. So if you look at the entrance to the, I don't like doing this view, you know. If you look at the entrance, he cut too much of the inside curve there. He cut too much of it hitting to the barrier, so the game was like, no, I'm not having that, and spat him back out. If you cut too much and you hit into the barrier, the game doesn't like it, and it just kicks you out. So Dave for a second or third week. He's going to be very frustrated with that. So now he's got it all to do. Look at his fuel. So this is technically cost him any chance of a podium, because behind C Trickle could quite possibly gain that second off of Dave. Well, he will, you know, because Dave's got a pit and Nave has got the lead in the race. So Nave is in the lead of the race. Can Nave hold on and get the maximum points? Can I get on the podium? I see these two up ahead. They're fighting, they're battling. Dave's just got spit out the pits basically, thinking no, you know, the game's like, no, go away, come back again, try again later. That's what it does, you know. And Nave, oh, I felt for Nave. Nave got it all wrong. It's tricky. You need to, you know, keep focus around this section. Nave clipped this curve, actually missed it. So yeah, he missed the entry to that. So we'll go back and have a look at that one more time. Sorry, Nave. He missed the hit that one fine, but coming around this one now, unfortunately, he missed quite a bit of the apex. So that, yeah, he missed it, and he missed it. He went a bit wide, clipped the grass, and he lost the rear end. You know, I felt for him. You know, he was running such good race, and he said to me, "Sorry," you know. But you know, things happen in racing. It happens. Let's see if he can recover up to third. Let's wait and see. So Dave will resume the lead of the race. See Trickle around there a bit wide on the entrance to Paddock Hill Bend. Myself now. The win is on if I plan it right. 129, 148. So I got the fast half of the race so far. James Harben not out of the equation either. He's currently sitting in fourth, nor is Rick. So Rick in that fourth. Nate's got it all to do. Nate's got to push it for the final 10 minutes of this race. What can he do? Can he grab that final podium spot? We'll wait and see. P1 Valley, unfortunately, a bit too far back. Just entering Graham Hill Bend now. Rob as well, his teammate. So they're 7th and 8th. So they're doing good points for their team so far. Marshall and Knight pitted twice. Can he keep ahead of Sonic Racer? Sonic Racer in that 10th. MLA in 11th. Duds in 12th position. So at the front we go. Dave will be going into the pits in a minute. C Trickle will resume the lead of the race. But can he keep it out in the lead? We'll wait and see. Myself, James Harben now. Falling back a bit, but he's coming into the clutches now of Rick. Rick in the Ferrari. Catching James Harben quite quickly, to be honest with you. And then we got Nate recovering as well. Can Nate gain to the back of Rick and get a position or two? We'll wait and see. So Valium, Rob, Marshall there. Can he close up to Rob? Rob is there, Marshall's there, not too far. So Dave's in the pits. Dave's going to fall down quite a bit, to be honest with you. I mean, he's down to sip. He's going to maybe come out in 7th, but he's got to refuel. Rob's coming around. Valium's coming around. Valium will take... Yeah, so Dave's coming out now. Where is Rob? Rob is there. So yeah, Dave's come out in 8th position. Lost a lot of time to the leaders. So at the front we go. C Trickle took the lead of the race, but he's got myself behind. So myself behind C Trickle. We're battling for the win of this race. C Trickle with Sparkle Sheffield on the back. Please check them out on Google. Autism awareness and the help families and that. Infinity Decals in South. We are driven. Digital car culture. It's okay not to be okay, and so on and so on. Still a lot of mental health going on around the world right about now. People haven't got over the pandemic. Still ongoing. And yeah, you know, just hope it stays away now. It's not as, I don't think it's as bad as what it was, but it's still out there and it's still affecting people. So C Trickle now being harassed by me. But C Trickle, I think I went to the outside here. But C Trickle touched and go on the fuel, so I think he had to go into the pits again. Or did he stay out? I think he stayed out, but that fuel's flashing. That won't get him to the end. Because I know on lap number 22, James Harben in that 3rd. So we're going to be slowed up now. So I look to the inside of C Trickle, Paddock Hill, and the exit of Paddock Hill, and I get that move done. So now it's all about pushing it and trying to extend that gap. C Trickle, if he keeps with me, to like help him put away from James Harben. But unfortunately, with that fuel, he's got to pit James Harben in 3rd with Rick in 4th. P1 Valium in 5th. Dave. Let's go back and have a look at that, ladies and gentlemen. So Dave, in car with Dave now. Sees a bit of a gap on the inside to Nave, so gets that move done. So now his attention will be drawn to P1 Valium. Nave down to 7th. So P1 Valium in 5th. Can Dave get that 5th? He's looking for it. Will he get it? That's the thing. Round the outside's not the way to do it. Nave comes back on the inside. So we've got a 3-car battle for that 5th position. P1 Valium is in the lead of this pack so far. And yeah, P1 Valium, P1 Valium, P1 Valium. Nathan, Dave battling it out. Nathan, Dave battling it out. Can Dave get on by Dave, the sipping, or will Dave just defend, keep it nice and tight to the apex? Yeah, faster out Dave there. So Dave still trying to gain up to the back of P1 Valium. See trickle into the pits. That's enabled James to go up to 2nd. And yeah, Dave is on the mission so far. But unfortunately, the leaders are quite too far ahead. Sorry about that. 1st, 2nd, 3rd. So Rick's got by James. Can I go back and have a look at that at all? Rick there looking to the inside of James. Looking to the outside. Heading down towards Graham Hill betting. Yeah, and he gets that move done, Rick. Very nice move there indeed. So up the front we go. Myself leading away. Dave up to 4th, so he's gapped P1 Valium and Nave with that little bit of battle in there. So yeah, now we've got Nave and P1 Valium battling out for that. Dave's only there because it's doable, really. See trickle down to 7th, Robin 8th. Everlade must have pitted again. Yeah, he must have gone on the racing soft and does in 12th. Ooh. So then Rick, the gap now between me and Rick is, you know, I've extended it, so I'm quite comfortable now. But Rick has put a bit of a gap now to James Harbin. But can Dave close to the rear of his teammate? And behind we've got Nath and P1 Valium banning it out. So back to this again. Nath sees that gap on the inside and Nath dives down the inside there. P1 Valium, a little bit of contact as they enter. And on the exit, Robin's racing as they say on the exit. Nath gets that move done. Can he close up to the rear of Dave in that 4th position? We'll wait and see. So they're up 2 because I skipped it. So Valium's still behind Nath there, but he's on to the grass. See Trickle's closing a few temps here and there. P1 Valium's still in the slipstream there of Nath. Nath closing up to the rear of Dave. Dave in that 4th position, almost lost it around this bend, but kept with it, and that's enabled Nath to close up to the rear of Dave. But all the while, with P1 Valium still sit behind Nath, bringing that pressure to Nath there. Leave him alone, Valium. What are you doing to him? Leave him alone. So yeah, Nath around this final corner. Can he close up even more? P1 Valium, C Trickle there in 7, Robin 8, Sonic Racer in 9th. Marshall, can Marshall close up to the rear of Sonic Racer and get that 9th? There's only a couple of seconds up the road. We've got Rob and we've got his teammate as well. MLA up to 11th now, unfortunately. Quite a large gap now between him and Marshall. Duds has fallen. He's way back, Duds, in 12th position. Not too far to go now. A few minutes to go. Been a good set of races so far. The first 4 races of the season been pretty good, you know. It's quite close at the top. You'll see the results anyway when I put them in with this video. The current standings in League 2. League 1, live commentary by Down for the Count. That's every Tuesday at 9 o'clock. League 3, the Crazy Brit Marshall doing the post-race comms for League 3, so please subscribe to him as well. Myself, Idle4 Gaming, also I do for League 2. Yeah, 10-week season this this Infinity Series feature and sprint. As I said, the sprint will be a bit delayed. I haven't got time to put it in with this video, sorry. Got a bit of things to do. Quite a busy time so far for me. James Harbour, Rick, this settled now. This is how they're going to finish. Dave to Nath, on the other hand, I don't think is going to finish like this. No way. So, Dave in 4th, Nath in 5th. Nath was leading the race a few laps ago. He lost it. And he spun his rear end out. Fell down to 7th, made his way up to 6th, made his way up to 5th. Now he's harassing Dave for that 4th. Can he do it? Penultimate lap of this race. It's now or never, Nate, to get that 4th off of Dave. So we've got the Lambo Dambos 3 and 4 at the minute. Fuel light flashing there for James, but he'll have enough to get to the end. I'm currently still extending that gap. This might be the last lap actually, but I think there was another lap to go. 6.4 second gap between me and Rick. James Harbour in 3rd, Dave in 4th, Nathan 5th, still pressuring Dave there for that 4th position. Valium in 6th, C Trickle in 7th, Rob. Oh, Valium again. Runs it on the grass, so he's going to have dirty tyres, and he has. C Trickle to the inside. Will Rob go down the inside of his teammate? He does indeed, so Rob on the inside of his teammate up to 7th. Can Sonic Racer gain a position off of P1 Valium? Can Marshall close up and have a battle as well for 9th, 8th and 7th? MLA and does. Up the front we go. We'll have another lap. This will be the last lap now. Rick in 2nd, James Harbour in 3rd, Dave in 4th, Nathan 5th. Still harassing the rear of Dave there. C Trickle, first one to finish with Rob, P1 Valium, Sonic Racer in 9th, Marshall in 10th, MLA. Bit of a struggle for him that race, MLA. Let's see what we could do around Spa in 11th. Let's see if he can recover. And we've got Duds still coming around. Blue sector for him. He'll be finishing in 12th, but great racing to be honest with you. Really good battling throughout Brands Hatch. It's a tricky track, ain't everyone's favourite track. But yeah, good 40-minute feature race here. Does come over the start finish line now for 12th position. So yeah, at the front we go. The leader's coming around now. Oh god, the leader's coming around now. Sorry about that. So leader's coming around now. Few corners to go. I will win this race, the feature race around Brands Hatch GP. Dave and Nate still battling it out. This 4th and 5th isn't over. So I'm coming across the line now to take the win in the race. So yeah, I take the win in the race. Yes! Rick there, great racing from Rick, you know, great battling throughout this race in 2nd. James Harbour going to cross the line now in 3rd. Dave and Nate cross the line now for 4th and 5th. Great feature race, speak to you soon.